The tomb of Samuel, Hebrew. Translit. Kever Shmuel Ha-Nevi, winking face, urban settlement dating back to the 8th–7th centuries BCE, and remnants that Magen believed to be the Mitzpah in Benjamin of the Book of Samuel. By contrast, Jeffrey Zorn concluded that there are no remains at the site, from the period in which the Samuel narratives are set, and it could therefore not be Mitzpah. Magen's own conclusions have been criticized for stretching the evidence beyond the obvious implications, which he himself hints at. However, if Mitzpah in Benjamin was Tel En-Nazber on the Nablus road, Ismail, who had assassinated Gedaliah, would not have fled to Ammon via Gibon, which is located to the west near Nabi Samuel, which overlooks Jerusalem. Furthermore, Judas Maccabeus, preparing for war with the Syrians, gathered his men to Maspha, over against Jerusalem. For in Maspha was a place of prayer heretofore in Israel. A large monastery was built by the Byzantines, of which little remains. There is no clear evidence that the place was considered the tomb of Samuel, or indeed a place of religious significance, before Byzantine times. Magen argues that the builders of the monastery did not believe they were building over the tomb of Samuel, instead regarding their construction only as a memorial. The 5th-century writer Jerome, for example, argues that Samuel's remains were moved to Chalcedon, on the orders of Emperor Arcadius. This would be a century before the Byzantine monastery was built. A 6th-century Christian author identified the site as Samuel's burial place. According to the Bible, however, the prophet is buried at his hometown, Ramah, to the east of the hill, which is located near Geba. The 12th-century Jewish traveler Benjamin of Tudela visited the site when he traveled the land in 1173, writing that the Crusaders had found the bones of Samuel in a Jewish cemetery in Ramla on the coastal plain and reburied here, overlooking the holy city. He wrote that a church dedicated to Saint Samuel of Shiloh had been built on the hill. This may refer to the Abbey Church of St. Samuel, built by premised retention canons and inhabited from 1141 to 1244. Raymond of Aguilez, who wrote a chronicle of the First Crusade, relates that on the morning of June 7, 1099, the Crusaders reached the summit of Nebi Samuel, and when they saw the city of Jerusalem, which they had not yet seen, they fell to the ground and wept in joy. The Crusaders named the place Mount of Joy for this reason. The Crusaders built a fortress on the spot, which was raised by the Mamelukes. Some identify the location with the biblical Temple of Gibon, though consensus among experts places it at the village of Al-Jib. Modern era Jews had begun efforts to found a village at the site in 1890, originally called Ramah after the biblical home of Samuel, and then referred to by the name of the group which had purchased the lands, Nahaleshi Israel. Over the next 5 years, various attempts to actualize the plan had failed due to bureaucratic obstacles, but in 1895, 13 Yemenite Jewish families joined the group and succeeded in the endeavor, even engaging in agriculture there. World War I Nebi Samuel's strategic location made it the site of battles during the British conquest of Ottoman Palestine in 1917, and the village was badly damaged from artillery fire and abandoned. It was resettled in 1921, but various difficulties lead it to again disband after a number of years. The mosque, built in 1730, was damaged in the battle between the British and the Turks in 1917. It was restored in World War I. Post-World War II, the location was again significant in the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, and the 1967 Six-Day War, and was used by artillery of the Jordanian Arab Legion to bombard Jerusalem. In addition to being a base for attacks on Jewish traffic during the 1948 Siege of Jerusalem, Nebi Samuel and the surrounding archaeological excavations are now part of a national park. An Arab village of 20 families is located on the hilltop. Both Jewish and Muslim prayers are held at the tomb. Many religious Jews visit the tomb on the 28th of Iyar, the anniversary of Samuel the prophet's death.